This is the story of how I obtained an original script from the classic 1967 Star Trek episode, The Trouble with Tribbles, and how I got William Shatner to sign it. In the mid-1970s, I was a student at Alameda High School in California, where I took a class in video production. When our teacher, Mr. Rigello, was asked to teach the class, he knew nothing about TV production or script writing. So he contacted a former student who worked at Paramount Pictures, who sent him a box filled with leftover scripts from the TV shows Mannix and Star Trek. They were kept in these blue cabinets. I loved the Trouble with Tribbles episode and asked if I could keep a copy of that particular script when I finished the class. Mr. Rigello said yes. Years later, the cover was accidentally sprinkled with water. I took it to a comic book store to get it appraised, and the clerk told me it wasn't an authentic script because it didn't have a Paramount stamp and the cover wasn't the right color. That surprised me. A few years after that, I had become the entertainment reporter for a TV station and did the press junkets for a number of Star Trek movies.
But later on, I found out that the original scripts are going for then something like $1,000.
In 1989, I sat down with DeForest Kelley and before the interview told him about my script. He said that back then, the scripts were not stamped, and besides that, Paramount didn't even own the show at that point. They bought out Dizzy Lou the following year. He told me that the pinkish color on the cover page indicated it was from a late stage on the production schedule.
Never occurred to me that those scripts that I was throwing in the wastebasket would be valuable to somebody someday.
Fast forward to 1993. Leonard Nimoy came to Northern California to shoot the TV movie Return to Bonanza. We talked on camera about my script, which I brought along.
This happens to be a script called The Trouble with Tribbles, which was one of our most famous and most popular episodes. And what comes back to me is a memory of shooting this show, which was a lot of fun. I don't think in terms of the dollar value. To somebody, this is a very obvious to you or whoever owns it, it's a very valuable piece of memorabilia.
Stupidly, I did not ask him to sign it for me. The next year, 1994, I did the press junket for Star Trek Generations and interviewed William Shatner. I brought along the script, which you might be able to see on my lap along with my notes.
That seems to me to be eminently collectible.
At the end of the interview, I handed it to him, saying, "I never asked for autographs, but was hoping you could sign this." He took it from me, looked at it for about 10 seconds, and then signed it. He stared at it for a couple more seconds and then handed it back, saying, "Hang on to that. It'll put your kids through college." That was probably an exaggeration, but that's the story of how I obtained my authentic script from the Star Trek episode, The Trouble with Tribbles.